On August 6, 1945, a single bomb killed up to 135,000 people in Hiroshima. The decision to drop it, the debate inside the U.S. government about whether it was necessary, and what happened to the survivors, parts of that story were classified for 30 years. As you consider the scale of this tragedy, ask yourself, what would drive a nation to unleash such destruction on a civilian population, when on July 26, 1945, the Potsdam Declaration had already been issued, calling for Japan's unconditional surrender. In the months leading up to the bombing, the Allies were making significant gains, with the Soviet Union declaring war on Japan on August 8, 1945, and the United States conducting a series of firebombing raids on Japanese cities, including Tokyo, which suffered a devastating attack on March 9 to 10, 1945, killing over 100,000 people. The Japanese government, led by Emperor Hirohito, was actively seeking to surrender through the Soviet Union, with Emperor Hirohito sending a message to Soviet leader Joseph Stalin on July 12, 1945, asking for his help in ending the war. As you examine the complex web of diplomatic efforts, consider, what role did the Soviet Union's delayed declaration of war on Japan play in the U.S. decision to drop the atomic bomb? The bombing of Hiroshima was the culmination of a secret research and development project, known as the Manhattan Project, which began in 1942 and involved a team of over 130,000 people, including renowned physicists like J. Robert Oppenheimer and Enrico Fermi. On July 16, 1945, the first successful test of an atomic bomb was conducted in Alamogordo, New Mexico, with a yield of 21 kilotons, and the U.S. government quickly decided to use the bomb on a Japanese city, with Hiroshima chosen as the target because it had not been bombed before, allowing for an accurate assessment of the bomb's damage. The bomb, known as Little Boy, was dropped from a B-29 bomber called the Enola Gay, piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbets, at 8:15 a.m. local time, and it exploded with a force equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT, destroying over 90% of the city. As you visualize the devastating impact of the bomb, ask yourself, how did the U.S. government's decision to use the bomb on a civilian population reflect its broader strategic objectives? The aftermath of the bombing was marked by widespread destruction and chaos, with the city's infrastructure and medical services severely overwhelmed, and the survivors, known as hibakusha, suffering from severe injuries and radiation sickness, which would affect them for years to come. The U.S. government suppressed classified reports about the effects of radiation sickness for over 30 years, until 1979, when a report by the Atomic Bomb Casualty Commission revealed the full extent of the suffering, including the fact that many survivors experienced severe health problems, including cancer and birth defects. As you consider the long-term consequences of the bombing, ask yourself, how did the U.S. government's handling of the aftermath reflect its accountability to the victims and their families? As you reflect on the story of Hiroshima, remember that the bombing killed up to 135,000 people, and consider, what lessons can be drawn from this tragic event about the importance of diplomacy and the need to prevent such catastrophes from happening again, as stated by J. Robert Oppenheimer, the director of the Manhattan Project, who later said, "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds," quoting the Bhagavad Gita, highlighting the profound moral implications of the event.